Well, it's the Crypto Sheikhs podcast. I'm your co-host Anaspert, and I'm here with my main man, Big D.
How you doing, everybody? And we're here with Kristel Bechara today. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, Kristel Bechara.
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 Very welcome to the studio. This is the first time we're doing this recording here in-house.
Yeah, I'm very special.
You are,
feel
you're an
very
incredibly special guest.
This is the Crypto Sheikhs. This is the leading podcast in Dubai and the UAE, where you, regardless of your skill level, will learn everything from cryptocurrencies to blockchain technologies.
Just a little introduction. Kristel Bechara is one of the most renowned NFT artists here in the Middle East. She won the UAE Resident Artist Award in 2018 at the World Art Dubai. And she continues to be an innovator in the NFT art space on Foundation. We're really, really privileged and excited to have her here with us today. How are you feeling today, Kristel?
I'm feeling great. Thank you for having me.
All right, awesome. Well, Danosh, I think we might, let's kick this off. I thought maybe it might be a good idea to start with your background, sort of how how did you kind of get into the art space? A little bit on you.
Yes, so art was always part of my life. Growing up as a child, it was a passion. You would always find me drawing, asking other people to draw for me, painting, cutting, all this. And definitely I was experimenting with different mediums and style. When I, obviously, you don't get to have a style or a preference when growing up. You need to experiment. And then at university, I wanted to go into fine arts. However, yeah, I needed a job, a career, and graphic design was kind of a new field. I wanted to, I felt it was close to me, and then I graduated with graphic design, worked for a couple of years, got a nice experience out of it, and then I wanted to go back to traditional art and just create something that is unique for me. And that was around 14 years ago when I moved to Dubai.
Wow.
Wow, that's cool. So what made you kind of shift into traditional art? What was your previous experience with traditional art?
With traditional art, it's I like how I express myself, how I paint, how I play with different mediums of paint, from watercolors to acrylics and oils and the different styles and the freehand drawings and all that. But after years of experience with the softwares as a graphic designer, I fell in love with composition and the page layout, the typography, and all that. And I was like I felt very creative in front of the screen.
Mm.
So what I've done is I put all my experience in using the softwares with my love and passion of drawing and painting into one style. Actually, it was a process that I created, and I came up with a new style that I'm passionate about. I've been working with this style for 4 years now. And in this style, I can work traditional, like painting on canvas, and I draw digitally, and I used to print them on canvas as well.
Very cool.
Yes.
That's really cool, yeah. And how would you describe your style? I feel like it's a modern style.
Yeah, because what's interesting is you combine color, like lots of vibrant colors, red, green, all kinds of things, but then you have a very strong black and white presence as well. So there's this interesting contrast in all of your works.
Yes. So my style, I would say it's modern, but then I like to add some classic. Like I want it to be timeless. So you'd say it's modern, but then there are elements like kind of traditional, I would say. So the figures that I draw or any composition is very simple, very monotone colors. Obviously, I use black and white, and I like stencils or silhouette style, although they are drawn or painted. And then one part that I would like to highlight or I want to close, let's say, I color it and paint it with all kinds of colors and patterns, small details that I fuse together, and then I wrap one part of this painting. It's this contrast that I love.
Interesting.
I love the contrast. I love how it is balanced. there's nothing stronger than the other part, not the black and white that is stronger than the color. They are balanced, but yet totally different.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
I mean, let's talk a bit about the themes that you've explored with your work, because I've seen, without a doubt, you have explored a lot of stuff in the crypto space. So one of your most famous pieces is the Satoshi piece, which I think many people are coveting, and I think I saw it on listed for about 35 ETH now. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's quite an incredible piece, and congratulations on the success of that drop. But I'm curious, how do you come up with your inspiration for what you decide to paint about or what you decide to explore?
Yeah, so I take my inspiration from everything around me. One topic that I always come back to is feminism, is like the women figures. I like to draw women in all their aspects, all their what do I say, different
Eras.
and different mindsets. They are, whether they are happy, successful, even sad. So I'd like to portray women from their different walks of life. It's something, maybe because I'm a woman, it's something very close to me. I know I understand very well, so I express easily myself when painting and drawing women. And then, but I like to also, I take objects from like the life around me, and then I try to come up with stories behind them. There are many series I've been.
For example, I think what I think is quite interesting, and I think many in the audience who listening to our podcast might enjoy this, is that you've explored topics in crypto. Like, for example, one of your recent works is called Rekt, REKT.
Yeah.
And I love that piece because it's a ship which is, at
Almost
sale,
right.
but it's, on, and for those who don't know, Rekt, spelled REKT, is sort of a term used in the crypto space, in the metaverse, to denote someone who's maybe gotten margin called on a massive trade, or, they bought crypto at, let's say they bought, a coin at like $1, but then
they use too much leverage.
It gets robbed, and you get wrecked.
They got wiped out.
So I've seen you do these kind of pieces where you take a term that's quite big in the crypto space and you kind of visualize it into your work.
Yeah. So the NFT series, is a totally different, obviously totally different series, and the theme is about the crypto lexicon. So, and the dialect that and the terminology they use. So there are many words that I would never have known before. In my previous series, like I said, I was talking about feminism, about mystic voices, myth, and Greek mythology. But now with NFTs and this series that I wanted to highlight and work on is like these nice terminologies that you wouldn't want, like chill, or I haven't done this one yet.
What are your favorite terms in crypto?
So far is to the moon.
Oh,
because it's so I'm related.
Because we're all going to the moon, right?
Yes.
We're all going to the
We're all
moon.
gonna make
Or
it.
are we already on the moon?
Not yet. On the way. So yes, these terms are so fun to visualize because they don't have the same meaning when you are using them, but when you visualize them, and then in my point how I see them, they are totally different.
Yeah, I know.
So it's so cool. Satoshi is one of it's because it's the first, and
Satoshi, we just have to explain for the people that don't know, is
okay.
the guy that founded supposedly Bitcoin. So that was his pseudonym.
Yeah.
So
Satoshi Nakamoto.
So no one really actually knows who he is.
Yes, if they are a group.
I liked how you painted him kind of.
It's a non-binary figure, right?
Yeah, he could be a girl or could be a guy, and that's
both, or
it's a little bit like the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
I really love that because most people might just assume he's a guy, but it's a pseudonym. He could actually be a woman, and
she could be a woman.
Oh yeah, she.
Oh, you never know.
And I represented him like lifting a little bit of his mask, and the mask is kind of transparent, so you can see the face a little bit, and then they are kind of Asian.
Yes. because of Nakamoto. Maybe
Yeah,
he's
maybe
Japanese.
Japanese is
Yeah,
right. I say
yeah.
it came from Japan. So that's
So now that we're on this topic, let's just go straight into it. So NFTs, what are your feelings? I mean, obviously you're very successful in this space, but how have you felt, this past year with the boom in NFTs when Beeple sold his piece? What are your emotions now and your thoughts on the space sort of generally?
yeah. So it's I'm very excited, and I feel it's like it's something very positive that happened finally. I've been in the field, let's say 6 months now. Early this year, somebody just explained the NFTs for me like casually, and then I thought this is a no-brainer for me. I create digital art. I have to print them on canvas to sell them, and they don't like people think of digital art kind of less. They don't value it on the same scale as the traditional painted one. They think it takes less time, which means it has to be budgeted, priced less.
Well, not anymore with
Not
the NFTs.
well, finally, not anymore. Finally, I'm proud to say I don't have to explain anymore or defend that I do digital, but then I also paint and I have to show both of them finally.
So yeah,
We don't have to do that with the NFTs. And I feel like every day, it's been like years I've been creating NFTs, although it's only 6 months, 6 months. But it's moving so fast, and I'm learning every day something new. And yes, I'm very positive for the future and how we will grow in this space.
so do you feel now that the NFTs that you're making are replacing what you were doing before, the traditional art?
I don't think it will take over, or I will keep having both, but finally, at least NFTs now are selling for the same value as I sell my originals, which is very well.
So it's
very good.
complementing
Yeah, they are complementary, and they are appreciated on the same level as my traditional art. Yeah.
So what was the, because you've been an artist for a long time. What was that first thing that got you interested in NFTs? What was it that made you take the leap into the metaverse?
Actually, it's proving that this artwork is mine. This digital art is mine. The provenance, and then the proof of ownership, and then my name as a creator, and who's gonna buy it, and then the royalty fees after it's if it gets sold on the secondary market. This is amazing. And then
Don't mind me stopping you there. I think we
Yeah.
should define some terms here for the
Yes.
audience. So firstly, you mentioned the metaverse. We talked about royalties. We also talk about proof of ownership.
And provenance.
Yeah.
and the provenance.
Before we go into this, let me ask you, Kristel, how would you describe the metaverse? What is that term to you?
Metaverse. It's like the real word, but it's not real. It's somewhere I visualize it in not the Matrix, but
It could be the Matrix.
Yeah,
It could be the Matrix.
It's cloud. It's a big cloud.
So I think the metaverse can be
Living-
seen as this digital world where the crypto community gets together, right? So
He's codings and digital, and I saw a cloud with people. Yeah,
I mean, the
pixelated.
metaverse includes, without a doubt, the Twitter space, the Discord, but also increasingly now, you could say, virtual reality and AR.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would see it a little bit like, imagine as if the real world is the Earth,
Yeah.
and the metaverse is everything around it, the universe,
Yeah.
where all these crypto-related, companies, the whole VR thing, the AR thing, everything that's not real but is on the blockchain.
Correct. And I think this is a topic that we kind of explored before, but the blockchain with NFTs has kind of become a new legal system for the metaverse,
It's a parallel reality.
Yeah, and the whole point that Kristel was talking about here with the proof of ownership is, so in the real world, how do you prove ownership? You have to take a document in paper, and maybe you take it to a court and you say, this is legitimately mine for X reason, right? So let's say a title deed for a piece of land, right? That's physically owned, right? And to prove, so if someone were to come to your house and say, this is my house, you'd say, well, no. And you could take it to court and say, well, actually, it's my house for this reason. But you can't really do that in this new world, in this metaverse, right? Because you don't have those systems. But instead, we have the blockchain. And the blockchain basically says, so if I buy a piece of Kristel's work, right, the blockchain says I own it and only I can sell it, right? So when she sells that piece to me, she no longer owns that piece anymore. And if somebody wants to contest whether or not, I own it, it's easily provable on, in this case, the Ethereum blockchain, right? So that's a really important concept, I think, that many people forget. They think this blockchain is just this random thing that doesn't really apply. I think people should visualize it as a new legal system for the internet.
Take that from the crypto lawyer.
So, this is why I say it's a smart contract. It's a contract. It's a license of authenticity, and this is how I see it. I am happy also to create NFTs for my physical art, because if it's painted and it's not digital, but still it's a contract, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So on the point of royalties, how does that work? So maybe you could walk us through it. Like, if your art sells, what happens?
So you set the commission you'd like when you are creating the NFT, and then when it's sold, you should receive automatically
A sort
fees.
of a fees, right?
Yeah.
So basically, what Kristel is talking about here is, imagine she sells her piece to me, right? That first piece. Let's say that wrecked piece, we buy it for 1.2 with 1.9 Ethereum.
2.9.
2.9.
2.9. So the floor price on Kristel's work is it's not cheap. Okay. Yeah, 2.9
What's
Ethereum.
the price of Ethereum today, Kristel? Do you know?
It's lower than yesterday. I've seen my last.
But I think it's like $3,000.
Yeah.
Say $3,000.
Yeah. So her piece, her floor price now is close to $10,000
Right.
effectively. So now what happens is she sells that piece to me. Then let's say I've loved it for a bit, I've enjoyed it, and I actually find a buyer. So Danosh, you come in and you say, actually, I'll buy it for you, from you, because it's a limited edition. For 4 ETH. So now when that gets sold to you, Kristel, is able to still get a slice of that transaction through a royalty.
So how much royalty are you getting?
12%.
So
it's between 10 to 15%. Usually, this is the margin.
So interesting to know as well is that you decide how much royalty you will get. No one else decides it for you, but you.
Yeah. So what's interesting as well, I think, is how, as you said, she decides it. But in the old world, the traditional art world, right, we didn't really have this kind of mechanism, right? So if you were to sell your work to me, a traditional artist, art collector, and then I sell it on Christie's for several $1 million, you don't get a slice of that at all.
No,
Zero.
nothing.
Zilch.
I wouldn't even know if it's where it ends up, who's selling it again.
So a lot of people need to understand is the NFT revolution actually brings significant innovation to the art world. And so that's what I really think a lot of people need to, I'm hoping people can understand, because this should be an inspiration for more artists to come into the space.
Definitely.
So for an artist that is new to the NFT space, just want to try it out, what kind of recommendations do you have for them? Because you are one of the OGs in this industry, even though you've been doing this for not that long, but still you're considered as one of the originals.
Especially here in the UAE.
Yes. So I think they need to do their own research, obviously, because it's very complex to talk about the crypto world, and then they need to have a basic understanding. They don't need to go technical or to have a background in IT or engineering or something. It's going to be easy to create NFTs and mint them and list them on platforms and marketplaces, just like we do with our social media. But then they need to understand the terms, how you buy and how you sell with crypto money, not the regular money and all that. So these terms and they need to have a minimum understanding of this technology.
So someone that's new to this and wants to price their art, or for example, when you price your art,
Yes.
how do you price it?
So, I started with experimenting, especially because with foundation, it's an auction base. So you wouldn't want to start, I used to start low, like around zero point 0.1 Ethereum, which is around 400. It depends the market, how. And then I used to get a lot of bids, and they used to build up to 1 or 3 Ethereum. I was very happy with that. But then two of my art was sold for zero point 0.4 Ethereums, and I was kind of, no, this is a unique edition. This is one artwork. It has to be equivalent of one of my original paintings, right? So I started increasing the price to a minimum that I'm happy with, so that whatever there's more bids on it, it's more even better for me. But then I would be settling the reserve price for the minimum that I want,
That you're happy with.
that I'm happy with. Yeah, this is.
Would you say a lot of your marketing happens on social media?
So yes, my marketing, I don't have a marketing team. Obviously, I don't do campaigns and all that. It's just, it grows. I've been growing for 4 years organically. I have a team now I have a PR manager, I have a copywriter, I have a manager who helps with the business side of my work. But the marketing is more from social media, Instagram, Twitter, now Twitter. But yes, Instagram is like my marketing tool.
So looking back at your, your history in the NFT space, what would you say is the number one biggest mistake that you've done?
In the NFT, I'm still, it's kind of new, but yet not that new, because it feels, I've been doing this for years. The understanding of this technology, it's keep on changing in my mind, in my head. I started with, okay, now I can create digital art. There's there's a proof that this is my work, right? Because I've seen my work copied in malls. I've seen them on Amazon, and then, but I'm not gonna. These are copies, right? They are not my clients. Whoever wants to buy a cheap print, not cheap, let's say, but yeah, it's a pixelated print. They are not my clients. They are not art lovers. They don't appreciate my work. But
if you could have done one thing differently, what would that have been?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have.
I think Kristel has been doing amazing drops.
Yeah,
I haven't
I
seen.
mean,
You know what? The thing is, I'm sticking to my own how I believe my art experience have been through the years, and I'm just worked on one series, which is Beauty in DeFi. I'm listing it every week. I list one on Foundation. I'm happy to create commissioned pieces with NFTs that I sell, and I send the NFTs through OpenSea.
Yeah.
I'm experimenting maybe with launching new series on different marketplaces.
Oh, nice.
Brilliant.
Yes, I'm on non-urgent and maybe on a local marketplace soon. So this is what I'm thinking of at the moment. Yeah.
I just wanted to, for the benefit of the audience,
Yeah.
also talk about Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So Foundation is the primary place where I think some of your finest pieces are listed.
Yeah.
And why did you choose Foundation?
So the first artwork I listed on OpenSea.
Oh, okay.
Because I had my account there, and then on the same day, from a good friend of mine,
Mr. Pashamo.
Pashamo, he sent me an invitation to Foundation. He's like, they are still on OpenSea, but then Foundation it's by invitation. It's definitely more curated. So I went and delisted Satoshi the second day. Actually, on the second day, whenever I opened my account on Foundation, I listed another artwork. It sold within hours.
Wonderful.
So I delisted Satoshi and placed it directly on and listed it again on Foundation, and it's where it sold. And ever since, I've been listing that. I have now 21 artworks. 19 of them are sold out.
Just for the benefit of the audience as well. So
Yeah.
I actually have a piece by Pashamo right here, because Danosh and I are both NFT collectors as well. Pashamo is a wonderful guy. He's based in Turkey. And what's interesting about this point, though, is that on Foundation, it's actually an invite-only platform, isn't it? So you have to, anyone who wants to sort of be there has to kind of get an invitation first
Yes.
And so that kind of builds a bit of an exclusivity kind of vibe with Foundation. I think that's what makes Foundation a bit different from OpenSea and some of the other platforms.
Yeah.
It's more curated. It's more kind of fine art focused. And so I think it's perfect for the kind of work that you are trying to put out.
Yes, for this series especially, which is a unique edition, unique artwork, it has to be part of a marketplace that is selling like only fine art or artworks, not collectibles and all the rest of.
What's also interesting about Foundation is that when people buy a piece from you, a lot of these collectors, they kind of want to show it off, right? And so every person on Foundation has a profile, and you can see the works they've created, but also the works they've collected. And so some of these big fish, often they have like an avatar that you don't know who they really are, but then you go into their collector, they have like 10,000 works, and it's like, oh wow, this guy's a major OG. And you look at all the works of how much they cost, it's like 100 ETH, 20 ETH, 50 ETH. You're like, okay, my friend, and it's quite interesting how Foundation has created this in the metaverse, this kind of, and this is what I want to talk about this in the next point, but how NFTs are becoming a sign of social status. It's a way to sort of show in the metaverse your place in crypto, as we're increasingly seeing this crypto elite beginning to form. And what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that NFTs are increasingly becoming some kind of status symbol, like a Rolex watch?
Yes, definitely. It's a social status and all that. Definitely, it's like collecting art before and then placing it at your home, or if it's too expensive, I don't know, in a vault somewhere. But then, yes, definitely, this is where we're heading, to the metaverse, to the virtual world where you can show off what you have collected through.
So that leads me to a question, going back to a discussion we had where you told us that your kid today doesn't ask you for products or gifts in the physical world. He wants NFTs.
He wants skins. Roblox. The Roblox is it's this metaverse, and then with a lot of games in it, and then they have this coin which is a Roblox, and then we need to buy these coins so that he can spend it on the pets and the skins, and and he knows what's more expensive, and that if he's wearing this outfit, then the rest of the group or the people playing, the other kids, they would follow him, and then it's a whole.
So many times when we think about the NFT market, we're comparing it with, from our own point of view, we think that why would we buy so much stuff in the NFT space? But there's this whole generation of young kids growing up, and they're gonna be the future buyers of NFTs.
100%.
Exactly.
Generation Z is going to come like a wave.
They are natives, right?
So how do you think that's going to change the NFT space in the future?
Oh my God. I think everything is going to move. We're going to have like two worlds, and then whatever we do here, we can also do in the metaverse. And then it's so wide and so creative, and to experiment in a new whole dimension. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah. Cool.
What are your thoughts now, turning on another subject within the NFT space, on avatars, or profile pics? I know this is something maybe kind of different from the more fine works that you do, but this is kind of linked to sort of what your kid sort of is buying. He's buying these skins. What are your thoughts on the whole profile pic NFT craze right now?
It's very interesting, actually. I have some time to actually understand and like grab this whole project thing with the avatars and then the collectibles, and I totally understand it. I want to get some, actually.
What do you have your eye on?
I love the apes.
Everybody loves the apes. So
Yes,
just for the benefit of everyone, we've talked about this on one of our previous episodes, because me and Danosh, we tried to buy one, but we failed horribly.
We didn't fail. We chickened out.
We chickened out, yeah.
Because our Bored Ape was snatched, and then 2 seconds later they were selling at 5 ETH more expensive.
Yeah, so the Bored Ape Yacht Club is one of the most famous NFT drops. It dropped earlier this year. They're now currently being sold on Christie's for, I think, minimum 100 to 200 ETH a pop. So they're one of the most successful projects in the space. It completely changed. So you actually want to buy one?
I would love to. But then the numbers are not very encouraging.
You know, when we were looking at it, it was selling for 25 ETH.
Don't tell me that again, please. I have a photo on my phone where I sometimes look back at the price and sort of think, yeah.
And then you slap yourself in the face.
Yeah, so and now the market is not saturated, but there's plenty of these projects, and then you need proper research to know which and what kind of experience you're looking at, or the utility that you're gonna get from buying into a project like that. It's very interesting. And from my business side, because I'm an artist and a business woman, let's say, but I want to take part of this as well. Not only collecting, I want to be creating a project like that. And well, I'm planning and studying what I can do in this field. And yes.
Oh, we look forward to seeing your profile pic on Twitter changing to some avatar, you know, because curious to see what project you end up in.
Definitely. We would be collectors for sure.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I want to just kind of circle back now to some of the drops that you did, because I think it'd be beneficial to the artist to understand how you do a good drop. So what would you say would be one of your most, just before I say that, so a drop is when you mint a piece of work and you kind of list it for the public to finally kind of buy. And
yeah, so just to explain minting as well, it basically means putting the NFT on the blockchain.
Yeah.
And the drop is launching
it, yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, Nike dropping a new pair of shoes on the market. That's the kind of idea, right? And to do a drop, you actually have to spend gas on Ethereum, which I know is a bit of a barrier to entry at the moment, but it's an important part to ensuring the security of the Ethereum blockchain, etc. How would you explain, or maybe you could talk us through one of your most exciting drops and what that was like?
So for me, I don't create like a lot of hypes and all that. I just mention on my social media that I'm going to be dropping today or tomorrow a new artwork on Foundation, and then whenever I do, I just promote it regularly on my social media. And then in April, the drops were like whenever I drop one artwork, I used to get a lot of sales and a lot of bits, sorry. And then one of the drops is to the moon. This artwork, it was really nice because I had a kind of a war on it with two prominent collectors.
A bidding war.
A bidding war, yes.
Those are always exciting.
Yes,
I've participated in a couple of them.
Yeah,
I love them.
Exciting.
I'll be honest with you, sometimes I search for bids and I just enter just to get into a fight because it's just so exciting.
Well, you actually met one of our now close friends through a bidding war.
Exactly, I did. One of my closest friends was a collector who I actually lost a bid to, but I actually ended up like contacting him because he lives in Dubai. But yeah, I think bidding wars are so much fun.
It was super nice, super fun, and I was like getting tweets from accounts that they were watching the bids, you know, and they were, I don't know if they were doing bids between each other, who's gonna win, or you know. So that was a nice drop.
Cool. So one more question is, if you had a bit of Ethereum in your Ethereum wallet right now, who would you be? Which artist would you like to buy their next drop from?
So the artists I'm looking at, they are not NFT artists. They are traditional artists, and not only traditional, like multi-visual artists. I don't know, disciplinary artists. But then I have one artist is James Jean, and I love his work. He's not doing a lot of drops, but I keep my eye on him whenever if there's anything
How much
new
are his works going for?
around
Oh.
300.
No.
Yes.
300 ETH?
Yes.
No,
yes,
I
yes.
don't. Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna look. Just
What's
make
his
sure
name?
I'm
James
not good
Jean.
with it. Yes.
James Jean.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll look him up.
B-
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
well,
an NFT artist.
We'll
you know,
cut his
he's
name out
really-
from the podcast so we don't hype him up.
Yes, don't.
So just to wrap this up, what we like to do, just to kind of also give more color to our guests, is just to ask at the very end some rapid fire random questions about
Okay.
you. So first question, do you have a hidden talent outside of art?
I'm a bad cook. It's not I don't cook.
That's a hidden secret.
You're a bad cook, okay. But do you not have a talent? I mean, that's a non-talent.
Yeah.
Like, are you secretly like a really good swimmer or?
No, I like singing.
Oh, you like
Oh,
singing?
wow.
You know, I play the guitar.
Yeah,
Like,
so I'll be singing.
you know, we could start a band together. You know.
Yeah.
Actually, Danosh here is a rapper, so we could legit start a little thing here.
You can
Yes.
do the yo-yo-yo.
I am the yo-yo-yo.
Crypto Sheikhs in the house with Kristel Bechara.
If you had time to not work, like not do your art, what would you be doing?
I'm just. I love traveling.
Okay.
Yeah, exploring new cities.
Any favorite destination?
Italy is always. There's many cities that I haven't been in Italy, and it's always so pretty. I love it.
Who is your favorite actor or actress?
I like Jennifer Lawrence.
'Cause she's quite a-
She's new. Yeah, she's not kind of new, but yes, she's. I love her. She's very natural, and she's whatever she does. I like her. And then Leonardo DiCaprio. Obviously.
Standard.
Yeah.
Do you have a poster of him on your wall?
No.
No.
Final question, and it's more Dubai specific. What's your favorite restaurant in Dubai?
My favorite restaurant keeps changing, but then all-time favorite, La Petite Maison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
LPM in
Yeah.
DMC.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a really nice restaurant,
Yeah.
I must say. Well, I mean, that concludes our session. Look, Kristel, it's been such a pleasure to have you here with us, especially in our home studio.
First time?
First time.
Thank you so much.
We love this discussion. We can't wait to do another session with you later on in the future. We can't wait to see where your work continues to go. And yeah.
So for all the people listening in, would you like to share your social medias with them?
Kristel Bechara, and Atelier Kristel is the Twitter account.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
And for you guys who are not following or subscribing to this channel, make sure you do, because we're going to keep pumping out a lot of new content over the next few months.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned and see you next time.
Yep. Crypto Sheikhs in the house.